welcome out to a historic edition of First Draft. And I do actually mean that. See, if you watch this show all the time, if you listen to this podcast all the time, you're used to certain things happening certain ways. But today, we blow it all up. I'm Jason Fitz, and we're just going to get rolling on what I'm going to call the Voltron edition. See, if you listen to this every year, you know that every year we force Mel and Todd to do a two-person, 22-member super draft trying to figure out all their different guys that they're going to take in the draft. But this year, we decided to let the Wolf Pack grow by 2 and expand the entire process. That happens right now. By the way, if you're used to listening to us only on the podcast edition on Thursday, this is a great note to tell you that you may want to check this one out on YouTube. For once, we're going live on YouTube, or you can see us on demand, I should say, on YouTube. Right there, where you can hang out with us, and you might want to watch this because, frankly, we're all pretty and we're about to do some great work. Let me bring in the entire ensemble that we have with us. At my table with me, I have Matt Miller hanging out with us, and Matt is just one of the newbies that we're going to join into this. We also have Jordan Reid joining us, as well as Mel Kiper and Todd McShay. So, you know the way that this is going to go, gentlemen, and it's while I didn't get to wear a fancy referee outfit, I will be the fancy referee for the course of this draft. Now, somebody in my ear has told me that this was arbitrarily chosen with the order. I'm not sure I buy that, but that's what they tell me, and I have to take it at face value. The order of this snake draft, so for anyone that doesn't know it, we'll go back and forth and back and forth. The order will go Kiper, McShay, Reid, Miller. So that means we'll go Kiper, McShay, Reid, Miller, then Miller, Reid, McShay, Kiper. I think everybody understands this. This is just like a fantasy draft, and we're going to... oh, wow. Already the trash talking has started. Mel, you feel good about this from Todd?
No, I don't. I'm going to pass so I can wait and see how we do this daggone thing, because I have no idea what the heck we're doing here. I got pen and paper. Okay, I'm old school. These guys got conference call lines. They got high-tech stuff around them. I got nothing but pen and paper here, so I'd rather pass and let you guys all go first, and I'll take the 4th pick. I don't know how the heck I got the number 1 pick. I know somebody was going to screw me over on that one. I think I know who did it.
There are some debates on which pick is the best pick in this. Jordan Reid, how do you feel about, let's get a little insight from the 2 new guys. Jordan, how do you feel? You feeling confident?
I feel good. I just need to know if trades are allowed or not. In the snake draft. That's all I'm asking.
All right. So, you know what? They're getting. I don't know. I'm going to ask our producers. That's a no. That is a no. We have asked the producers. They have said no. So, Ixnay's on the trades. Matt, do you have any weird questions you want to throw into the beginning of this thing, too?
No, I'm ready. I've played fantasy football before, so maybe I know how snake drafts work. So, I'm ready. And I think the 4th pick is the best one. So, I think there's a seniority thing going here. I notice as the newest guy here, I have the 4th pick, but I'm okay with it. I'm happy with that.
Also, it should be noted, I think we might have the most tattoos sitting side by side for any draft show broadcast in history. All right, first draft, we're going to start with the first pick, which goes to the great Mel Kiper. So, Mel Kiper Jr., you are on the clock with the opening pick. For anyone that doesn't know, what we're going to do is pick a quarterback, a running back, a wide receiver or tight end, your choice, an offensive lineman, or offensive tackle, I should say, a guard or center, your choice. Then you're going to pick 3 front 7 players. Can be a defensive end, can be a defensive tackle, can be a linebacker. You also get a corner and a safety. So that's going to be the entirety of your roster. When this thing's all said and done, we're going to put the rosters up somehow on social media, let you guys vote and figure out who won, and most importantly, for all trash talking purposes, who lost. So that's where we are. We'll see how this goes down, Mel. You are first, so you have the entire draft board is yours, good sir, with the first pick in the draft. Who would Mel Kiper Jr. like?
It seems like there's got to be a strategy to this thing. You know, you look at positions that aren't as strong. Maybe you take that guy, or we just going by our positional rankings. I'm not going to try to get cute here. I'm just going to take Aiden Hutchinson. He's number 1 on the board. I wish I didn't have the first pick, but I'm happy to have Aiden on my team. So he's the energizer. He's the pass rusher. I'll take Aiden Hutchinson, although I probably should have taken a quarterback, but I'll take Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah, and that's an interesting strategy, Mel, because Mel won't have a pick again until number 8 in the draft. So now there's going to be a little section here where he's got to sit back and wait. Todd McShay, the board is now yours.
Yeah, I thought about getting cute here too, Kiper, but I'm going to stick to my board to start. I'm not going to stick to my board the whole time. I've got it worked out where I'm taking certain positions, but I'm going to go with Ike Ekwonu, the offensive tackle from North Carolina State here. I think he's going to be the most dominant offensive tackle in this class when it's all said and done. Got to protect my quarterback, get lanes going for my running backs. So Ike Ekwonu is the number 2 pick in this draft. He's not going to be the number 2 pick in the 2022 NFL draft, though.
All right, this is fair so far. By the way, if you're watching and listening along, if you turn this into a drinking game, cute apparently is going to be the word that gets us where we want to be here. Jordan Reid, you're third on the clock. Jordan, what do you got?
Well, both of those guys stay with the trenches with their first pick, but I have to go with the most important position on the football field, and that's quarterback. And I'm going to go with Malik Willis, the quarterback from Liberty right here. I don't feel great about the depth at the position. It's a little bit of an underwhelming class, so I'm going to go ahead and grab my quarterback, and that's Malik Willis from Liberty.
I'm a little surprised Jordan goes with Willis. I mean, he's picking again in a few picks. Todd, you good with this?
No. Come on, Jordan. 19th best player in the draft, and you take him 3? No, I get the rationale.
Got to get my quarterback.
Yeah, well, we'll see how that moves forward because, again, Jordan's got to pick in a few. But now with back-to-back picks, so this becomes, you're however you want to take these in the order you got him. Matt Miller is on the clock, and he has picks 4 and 5.
There's a lot of pressure. I was going to take Malik Willis, but Jordan beat me to it because I do think the quarterback depth is not that great this year. But I'm willing to wait. I'm willing to wait on the quarterback position. I love the trenches. So Evan Neal, offensive tackle from Alabama. I actually think after Evan, there's a drop-off at that position anyway. I don't love Charles Cross this early, so I'll take Evan Neal. And with my second pick, I feel the same way about the edge group. Jermaine Johnson from Florida State is a good player, but he's not Travon Walker from Georgia with the measurables that he has, with the potential he has, through the roof, in my opinion. So I'll take Evan Neal and Travon Walker here.
Which means he's just all flipping out here saying he doesn't care about quarterbacks at all. Because I'm looking at the board. He doesn't pick again until 12. Got a long time.
I'll take Bailey Zappi with this team. I'll be fine. Don't worry.
Wow.
Don't worry.
This got aggressive quickly. That means, Jordan, it's right back to you. How you feeling, buddy?
I'm feeling good, and I'm going to attack the trenches right here, and I'm going to go with one of my favorite defensive ends in this entire class, and that's Kayvon Thibodeau from Oregon. I just really like the height, weight, and speed and the athleticism factor with Thibodeau. And I know there's some things that people can say are off the field or the effort concerns, but I really like this player as a prospect.
Jordan's just sitting there smiling like he's feeling good about things so far. I mean, that's not bad. All right, we're back to Todd. Todd, the board is yours, my friend. There's a lot left out there.
I'm going with Ahmad Gardner, the best cornerback in this class. Sauce Gardner, to me, I mean, put him on an island, never gave up more than 13 yards to a receiver all season long, never gave up a receiving touchdown. I got a guy now that can take away a third of the field. We'll get our pass rusher to match up soon.
All right, and that brings us back to Mel. Now, Mel, you're picking back-to-back here, but I'm going to ask you to make one pick, and then we'll give a little recap to everybody to see where we stand so far. So, Mel Kiper Jr., you're going to have 2 straight picks, but let's only do the first one here.
I'm going to take Kenny Pickett. I'm going to get the quarterback. Jordan started the ball rolling. I'm not going to be stuck with Cole Kelly from southeastern Louisiana here. Even though I think Cole Kelly will be a good 6th, 7th round pick. I'm going to take Kenny Pickett out of Pitt with this particular choice here and follow the lead of Jordan Reid, who went off track here and did what he was supposed to do because he's got a system and he's got a technique about how to do this and a way to roll here. So I'm going to go Kenny Pickett. And then I'm going to take my next pick.
Hold there, Mel. Wait, we got to show everybody where we are.
Back to back.
You know what? You are back to back, but I got to give everybody caught up. Like, we're going to throw up a fancy graphic here and show everybody who's been picked so far. This far in the draft, and this is the magic of technology. We got great people behind the scenes. We want to let them get involved at this point. So, again, we've only seen 2 quarterbacks go off the board with Pickett and Willis so far, and not surprising in a draft full of edge rushers, we see Hutchinson, Thibodeau, and Travon Walker are all off the board already for impact defensive players, I should say. So that gets us caught up on where we are now. We start the snake again, and Mel, good sir, I defer to you.
I'm going to go here with, I'll take Derek Stingley Jr.
Derek Stingley Jr.
Oh, Stingley. No injury concern this high there, Mel?
No. Okay. Medical technology has come a long way since 1960 when I was born. So I'm going to go with Derek Stingley Jr. Had an excellent workout. He was the number 1 guy on the board. Had COVID not hit and certainly not had the injury this year. So I'm going to take Sauce is already gone. This isn't a deep cornerback group. I'm getting the corners before the guys start taking everybody. And I like Cam Taylor-Britt, but I don't want him in this snake draft necessarily. So I'm going to go with Derek Stingley Jr. before everybody takes all the corners, and I'm left with a 2nd or 3rd.
Now, at this point, Mel can take a little bit of a break, basically, because he's not going to pick for several picks. So we can have a little charcuterie, maybe a little red wine. Get ready for the next set of picks. Todd, you're up, my friend. What you got?
Yeah, there's a trend here. My team is the best at every position. So I have the best offensive tackle, Ike Ekwonu. I've got the best cornerback in Sauce Gardner. And I'm taking the best safety in Kyle Hamilton from Notre Dame.
Todd Steele's my guy. I was sitting here patiently waiting, watching the board fall, thinking no one's going to take a safety this early. And Todd comes in at 10 and just trashes my draft plan. So.
Why do I feel like that's going to mimic some of what everybody's doing on draft night, trying to figure out when you pull the trigger on Kyle Hamilton? I mean, that's you know what? Todd's got a sound strategy so far. Jordan, what are you coming in hot with now?
Jason, this is why I asked if trades were allowed in this draft, is because we were going to trade up for Kyle Hamilton there. He was slipping down the board, but we're going to go with, I have to stay with the trenches here, and I have to go with Charles Cross from Mississippi State. I'm a big fan of Charles Cross. I like what he brings to the table, and if you're an offense that is very pass happy, I think Cross can be a day one starting left tackle for you. So we're going to go with Charles Cross here.
By the way, both Jordan and Matt have passed the future NFL coaching interview process where they say, hey, we were going to take him. Our guy just wasn't, I like that. That's well done by you. Matt, you're up on the clock with 2 straight picks.
Yeah, Jason, one thing I don't know if the guys are thinking about, there's only 4 of us. We don't have to draft Cole Kelly at quarterback. The worst case scenario is QB4 in this draft. So I'm waiting on my quarterback. I don't know why we're rushing to draft these players. I look at what's available right now. We have to take 3 front 7 players. Jermaine Johnson from Florida State still on the board. So welcome to Team Miller. We're going to win a ring real early in your career, sir. Very happy about that. And then I look at the safety position. You guys know I wanted Kyle Hamilton, but Daxton Hill from Michigan is a versatile, athletic playmaker in the secondary. 4.3 speed, can play slot corner, can play free safety. I want that type of difference maker in my secondary.
Look at that. All right. Again, sneaky strategy playing into this, and now we start snaking our way back. So, Jordan, you are back on the clock, my friend. Did any of that disrupt your plans?
No, and I believe Trayvon Walker is still on the board, correct?
No, Trayvon went out.
Surprised.
No, he's
Was he
gone.
gone already?
Yeah, Trayvon Walker went 5 overall.
I thought he was still on the board. That's my apology. So we're going to go corner here. I have to get a corner. Sauce, and then also Derek Stingley Jr. already off the board. So we're going to go with Trent McDuffie from Washington. We feel really good about adding him to this secondary and this defense that we're building. All
right, that makes a lot of sense there, and that takes us back to Todd McShay. So, Todd, who you got?
The 4th best on my team best. The best wide receiver in this class, Garrett Wilson. I'm getting him this late in the draft. Are you kidding me? So I get the best safety in Kyle Hamilton, top offensive tackle Ike Ekwonu, top cornerback in Sauce Gardner, and then the top wide receiver Garrett Wilson. Welcome to the squad, buddy.
Can we just acknowledge the fact that not only McShay's doing a good job of if you ever watch food TV channel competitions where when they bring it up they always describe their dish as beautiful and delicious, tasty. He's giving us the perfect sales pitch every time he's on the clock. This is well done. Let's go back to Mel. Mel, what you got, bud?
I got to take an offensive tackle. I'm going to take Trevor Penning just to get the tackle before I'm left with a 3rd or 4th rounder. So I'll go Trevor Penning out of Northern Iowa. Some people have systems. McShay's just think he's going to get the best player in position. He's going to run out of luck pretty soon on that theory and that philosophy. So I'll go Trevor Penning here, and I pick again.
Then we're going to hold again because we're going to give this massive technology here where we show everybody where we are so far. Up, and yeah, I know. I'm just trying to keep. I got to keep the horses at bay at this point. Kiper's ready to come up with the envelope again. We have had a run, as you see here on the screen. We've had a run on some corners. It's not a particularly deep corner class. Let's see how that impacts moving forward. We've also seen everybody fill their offensive tackle needs. So offensive tackle looks like it's off the board, I believe, at this point. So if I'm looking at this right, that gives us a little bit of an eye. Only 1 wide receiver out, which may speak to what people believe is the depth in this class. Mel Kiper Jr. back on the clock as you get us started again on a snake. What you got?
I'm going to go with Breece Hall. I'm going to get the running back. I'm going to just take the running back before I'm into James Cook, who's an accent piece. I want a true running back, a guy that in 1985 would have been a top 10 pick in the draft, and in this year, we're in 2022, he's going to be a 2nd round pick. But I'm getting the best running back. We can debate Kenneth Walker, the 3rd best running back in this draft is Breece Hall.
Well, and that gets us to McShay. McShay, I know you like Walker. You going running back this early?
Yeah, I mean, I continue the trend of best, and I am going to go running back because after these 2, Breece Hall and Kenneth Walker, the drop-off is enormous. You could argue the biggest drop-off at any position when you talk about after the first 2 running backs in this class. So, to me, Kenneth Walker is the number 1 running back in this class. We'll continue with the bests. But listen, I understand. Breece Hall had the great workout, a longer career in terms of the production. But I think if you're talking about pure run talent and potential as a receiver, Kenneth Walker is going to be a star in the league, I believe.
All right, and that takes us next. Oh, Jordan's back on the clock. Jordan, what you got?
So we got Malik Willis already at the quarterback position. Now we need to go get him a weapon. And I'm going to go with Chris Olave, the wide receiver from Ohio State. We need that long type of throw down the middle of the field, outside, or even over the middle of the field. I really like Olave's potential with Willis.
All right, a lot of people love
Over
Olave.
Drake London, huh?
Yeah, I'm surprised too.
Why?
Well, I think Drake London's the best receiver in the class. You have that size for Malik Willis, who's not always the most accurate, the most dialed in. This isn't a young Aaron Rodgers we're talking about. So I think giving him a 6'5" strike zone is a little bit better than giving him a 6'1" strike zone. But I do the deep speed of Chris Olave is nice. Definitely something you want for Willis, but I would have gone Drake London here.
All right, Jordan, defend yourself, good sir.
Yeah, I just like Olave's down the field dynamics a little bit better than Drake London's. And I think with how he's able to naturally get open as far as a separator, I think he gives Malik Willis more of a room or margin for error. So I like Olave's potential there with Willis more so opposed to Drake London.
Todd, you've heard both arguments on this. Who got it right? Are you a fan of Olave at this spot?
I like Olave a lot. I just don't like him ahead of Drake London. But, each their own. We'll find out 5 years from now, right?
All right, so look at that. Everybody playing nice so far. All right, we've delayed enough, Matt. You're back on the clock, and you've got 2 straight picks. So what are you giving us?
Yeah, well, I got to beat Todd to the best player at their positions, apparently. So I've gone Trevon Walker and Jermaine Johnson. I have my edge rushers. I'm going to keep the Georgia theme going. Jermaine Johnson, remember, was at Georgia for a little while. Jordan Davis to anchor in the middle of this defensive line. Maybe he's only a 2-down player, but that's all you need him to be right now. And that's still, he could be the best 2-down defensive tackle in the NFL. The impact is absolutely there. So I'll take Jordan Davis at pick 20. Do you want pick 21?
Yeah, go ahead. We're snaking back through.
Well, then I'll take my guy right behind Jordan Davis, Devin Lloyd, who I think has Darius Leonard type potential with his height, weight, speed, the impact. He can rush off the edge. The last 2 years at Utah, he was an impact defender in the Pac-12, as good as you get. So now we've got some speed on the second level of this defense.
Let me look. Can you do that? Where are we? Yeah, you're out. No, this is an error. We have our first egregious error. You have overdrafted at that position, good sir. Turn your envelope back in because you already have Walker, Jermaine Johnson, and Jordan Davis. You have the 3 people that would accomplish defensive end, defensive tackle, and linebacker. Look at Matt trying to pull one over on me. I'm looking at the spreadsheet thinking I got something wrong.
It's like the Minnesota Vikings, not knowing how to draft.
Yeah, well, that's fair. We will, rather than skip you for penalizing, which we should do in the future, we'll let you go back with a different envelope.
I appreciate that, and I apologize. I'll take Tyler Linderbaum, center from Iowa. Okay. I know I need an interior offensive lineman. He's the best one in this draft.
Yeah, no, that's even though short arms. Yeah,
I've seen him move. I'm good with the short arms.
Oh, I feel weird saying anything about arm length when I'm tiny myself. All right, Jordan, try not to cheat. All right, that's all I'm asking you guys to do is just not cheat at this point. Jordan, go ahead. What you got next?
Yeah, so I won't cheat here. I'm going to go back to the secondary. We already have Trent McDuffie back there. So now I'm going to go with Lewis Seen, the safety from Georgia. Maybe a little bit of a reach here, but I really like his potential, and I think he could end up being a back end of the first round type of talent. I like his ability as a middle of the field free safety. He can roam everywhere, and he's going to strike you. You better have your head on the swivel when you're talking about Lewis Seen.
All right, that's a little bit of a surprise to me there. McShay, you're up next. Who you got?
I'm going to go defensive tackle, Devontae Wyatt, because there's such a drop-off after the first 2. Jordan Davis has gone from Georgia. His teammate, Devontae Wyatt. The only reason that he's still on the board is there were some concerns about the pass and off-the-field issue, but ultimately, we're a great character team. He's going to come here and he's going to thrive in this environment. Devontae Wyatt, you can make an argument that he's the best defensive tackle in this class. Yeah. He's more of an every-down defensive tackle. With Jordan Davis, you may only get 25, 30 plays a game.
All right, Mel, you've been kind of quiet so far. So before you give us your pick, any thoughts on your peers here that you're picking against? I mean, you feeling good about it?
I'm beating them all right now. I guarantee you that. I'm pretty happy with my team. I got the best player in the draft. I got arguably the best quarterback in the draft. I got arguably the best corner when he's healthy. I got a tackle who can play right tackle, left tackle, and then got a guard. I got the best running back, and I'm going to get the best wide receiver on a lot of teams' boards here in Drake London. I'm going to take Drake. You guys, boxed yourself into a corner with some of the moves you made early on, and I still get the 6th pick. I'm getting Drake London. Are you kidding me? I'll take Drake here, and I got back-to-back picks unless you want to recap everything.
We're going to recap
every time. You want to do it again?
No, we recap, Mel, because you're star power, buddy. Like anytime we're going to do a recap, we do it between Mel
picks. Finally catching on.
Like that way, it's like, hey, we'll pause. People are going to wait to see what Mel has to say. Again, they'll throw up the graphic here, and you'll see that we have had a little bit of a run on wide receivers at this point. So Matt has not taken a wide receiver. Everybody else has. So that's where we stand on that. Only 2 running backs off the board. Not a big surprise to anybody. Again, offensive tackle looks like it's done, but the guard center hasn't really been addressed. Plenty of front 7 left to be addressed as well. So now, after that catch up there, we go back to Mel and see everybody stuck around because they want to see who Mel's taking next. It's TV programming. Mel, what you got?
I'm going to go here with a guy who, would have been a top 15 pick. I'm going to take him. I'm going to go David Ojabo here at pick number 7.
Oh, look, and just no concerns with the injury, right?
I'm getting a guy who would have been a top 15 pick. Do I have to repeat that? He's coming back. He'll be back in October, November. Okay, he's a pass rusher with 1 year of production. He's gonna. I got Aiden Hutchinson and David Ojabo.
That was the biggest choke pick of this draft.
Oh!
Yeah.
You do this every year. Every year. Does the pressure build up? What's going on?
I'm getting a guy who can get after the quarterback, and I got Aiden Hutchinson, who's as good as he's going to be. We know he's coming in; he's going to be a star. And I got a guy to learn and develop and be a guy who can be elite. I got 2 pass rushers, Todd. This is a league about getting after the quarterback and covering on the back end. It's not a league about linebackers anymore in the middle. It's about guys off the edge. And I got 2 guys and former teammates that I'm putting back there. I'm reuniting. I'll wait until October, November. And I got a career ahead for Ojabo. I'm not going to be stuck in the moment and real time. I'm worrying about medical technology, getting him back on the field, and getting a guy who has only touched the surface of what kind of player he can be.
Oh,
shut up on Ojabo.
He's building for the future.
I mean, that's smart team building. Got to build for the now and for the future. Todd doesn't like it at all. Let's see if Todd is able to pull himself together through all the emotion now. McShay, who you got?
It's a tough call. We've got the defensive tackles off the board. The defensive ends are still there. I'm going to go here. I'm going to solidify the interior of my offensive line. I'm going to get Kenyon Green because there's such a drop-off after that. So I'm going to take Kenyon Green from Texas A&M.
All right, so we get the interior offensive line address. Doesn't surprise me a ton on that. Jordan, where are you going next with this?
I mean, we're jumping for joy that this guy is still on the draft board, and we talk about interior defensive linemen that bring 3-down value that have made huge rises throughout the pre-draft process. We're going to go with Travis Jones from UConn.
Look, and he's a riser, Jordan. Like, you feel good about this one. Like, you put him next to Thibodeau. Like, maybe you're doing something special there, right?
We feel good about Thibodeau coming off of the edge. Now we need that big, nasty guy in the middle, and I think Jones can provide everything that we need on all 3 downs.
All right, so Jordan, so far, give me an evaluation. How do you feel about your team? You've seen everybody else's team. How do you feel about yours?
I feel good. I mean, we got the top quarterback on my board in Malik Willis. We got Chris Olave, a down-the-field weapon for him. We got Charles Cross, a natural pass protector for Malik Willis. Kayvon Thibodeau, and then also Travis Jones in the middle, and we got Trent McDuffie and Lewis Seen on the back end. I feel really good. We got terrific value on all of these players.
Look, I love that confidence, but also let's acknowledge I've never talked to anybody after any fantasy draft that have been like, whoa, I'm just saying it's early. Let's see how it goes the rest of the way. Matt, let's see, did that pick, Matt, impact what you were about to do?
No, I've drafted like 7 people on defense already, even when I wasn't supposed to.
That's fair.
So I think it's time to look at offense. And at a lot of positions on offense, my plan was to sit and wait because worst case scenario, you're getting the 4th best player at that position. So wide receiver, I let the guys have their picks. And I think I got the best one in the class if he's healthy. That's Jameson Williams from Alabama. Yes, the ACL's an issue, but we see guys, Mel's talking about it, medical technology. We see guys pop back from ACLs now in 6 months. It's not the career ender that it used to be. So I'll take Jameson Williams from Alabama here.
That's all of this exercise quickly before we get your next pick reminds us all how tightly compacted these wide receivers are in this class. I keep saying it. It's like whatever your favorite flavor of ice cream is, there's something there for you. So obviously all 4 of you guys, I think, did great depending on health. Let's go. You're still on the clock, Matt. So who do you got next?
Still, I'm going to go with another guy who is a little bit of an injury risk with Andrew Booth Jr., the corner from Clemson. He's got a core injury, having surgery that was found at the combine, but I love his potential. He was a top 15 player for me before the injury, so getting him here with my third to last pick, this is insane value. I'm happy about it.
You mentioned third to last. Let's remind everybody, you just made your third to last pick. Everybody is down to their last 3 picks, so things are getting tight now. Jordan, did that pick influence anything that you were going to do?
No, it did not.
You already have your corner.
I think I have to take a linebacker right here, and I'm going to go with Devin Lloyd, the linebacker from Utah. I mean, as far as everything that he can provide on 3 downs, he's a former safety, so he has terrific value in pass coverage. And also, we can use him as a blitzer on 3rd down if we want to get creative. So I'm going to go with the top linebacker in this year's draft, and Devin Lloyd.
Ooh, which means that would ruin McShay's plan of having the top of everything, Todd. So what are we doing now?
No, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't when you have Nakobe Dean 1 spot ahead of Devin Lloyd. I mean, you guys it's like Christmas over here. You guys are just handing me gifts after gift after gift. It's wild. I can't wait to play, first of all, in 2022, the triage team that Matt Miller's rolling out there, and then the back-to-back weeks, the triage team of Mel Kiper. I mean, you guys are just forfeiting 2022. So, all right, yeah, I'm going here. Nakobe Dean, the best off-the-ball linebacker in this class. I don't care what the measurables say. We'll look back on it 3 years from now. I mean, this group is loaded, man. Kenneth Walker, best running back. Garrett Wilson, and wide receiver. Best tackle, Ike Ekwonu. Best guard, Kenyon Green. Devontae Wyatt, best every down defensive tackle. Nakobe Dean. Sauce Gardner at corner. Kyle Hamilton. Come on, guys. Pick it up.
I'm not going to lie. That is that is staggeringly good so far, Todd. I'm fairly impressed. But let's get to everybody's Optimus Prime in this whole process. That would be Mel Kiper. Again, with the 80s cartoon references for me. Mel, you're on the clock. One of your 2 picks here. What are you going to go?
I'm going to go Zion Johnson, offensive lineman, interior lineman, played everywhere, can play center, he played tackle, guard out of Boston College. I got to get an interior guy. I'm not going to this number 2 center. I'm going to get a guy who I think could be arguably the best interior offensive lineman in this draft ahead of Linderbaum, and I'm going to go Zion Johnson from Boston College.
That means everybody has 2 picks left, and before we get to those final 2 picks, let's take a look and see where we are so far. As you can see, some of these have been taken care of. Wide receiver is off the board, corner is off the board. Mel has not taken a safety yet, so we'll see what he does here. And also, neither Todd nor Matt have taken a quarterback, so let's see how that impacts this last snake as we get to it. And that means, Mel, you are back on the board. Who you got, my friend?
Yeah, Matt got the guy I wanted. I wanted Daxton Hill at some point. He got one of my favorite players in this draft. I'm going to go with Jaquan Brisker from Penn State. To get a safety, it was either Brisker or Petrie from Baylor, so I'm going to get Brisker here out of Penn State. Heck of a player. James Franklin talked about the key guys on that football team were Brisker and another guy, which I won't mention. Todd and I have been debating him for a while. I'm going to go Brisker at the 9th pick overall.
All right, and that means we are back to Todd. And Todd, you have 2 picks, 2 positions left, quarterback or one more on your front 7.
I'm going to go with quarterback Desmond Ridder from Cincinnati.
Ooh. Why?
Yep. First of all, you get to know him and you get to, just the experience he has. He's a proven winner. We talk about the 49 starts. Look at the 49 starts for Kenny Pickett. Look at the 4-year starter for Ridder. I think a lot of his improvement can come with refining his footwork, and he's been working on that. And I believe in the guy. You just know his backstory, what he's overcome. Every team I've talked to they just love the guy. When he walks out of the room, they all just look at each other like, that's what it is right there. So I think Desmond Ridder, I was worried. Matt Corral, listen, he's a great player, and he was a really good leader at Ole Miss and won a lot of games as well. But I think I'm just starting to worry about Corral holding up physically over time, the deep ball accuracy, some of the other things I'm hearing. To me, this is a safer pick getting Ridder here, and then I'll go one more defensive player with my last pick.
All right, that takes us next to Jordan Reid. Jordan, you're back. You are on the clock, needing a running back or an interior offensive lineman. Jordan, what you got?
Yeah, so I'm going to go with running back Isaiah Spiller from Texas A&M here. I have to get a running back to put in this explosive offense. I think Spiller can bring that semi-explosive dynamic to the football field as a runner and then also a pass catcher too. So I'm going to go with the Spiller right here.
I like the way Jordan just snuck in this explosive offense.
Right.
I mean, he's the next thing you just use multiple next, and we'll have everything covered. Matt, you're on the clock. What you got, buddy?
Yeah, I waited to go quarterback, running back here because, again, I was comfortable with the guys that were going to be on the board. So I'm going to go quarterback Matt Corral. A lot of the things Todd said, I do agree with. Won a lot of games at Ole Miss, got better from 2020 to 2021, cut down on the interceptions while losing his best receiver, and Elijah Moore, by the way. I like the offensive line we built in front of him. Got a very strong defense, the best defense in this draft, by the way. Matt Corral doesn't have to win games. The defense will do that.
So was Isaiah Spiller going to be your running back?
Absolutely he was. Yeah,
Okay.
Jordan messed me up there. I'm not going to lie. Jordan got my guy, but that's okay. James Cook from Georgia. We have all this speed. Jameson Williams, speed on defense with Daxton Hill. Now we have speed at running back with James Cook, who is, a little bit more of a versatile player, catches the ball well out of the backfield. But I think this is where the NFL is going right now with the running back position anyways.
So, Jordan, that leaves you, you're pigeonholed in. It's got to be an interior offensive lineman. So who's it going to be?
Yeah, it's a little bit of slim pickings here, but we're going to do a little bit of a projection here. Even though he played offensive tackle at Tulsa, we're going to go and shift him inside, and we're going to go with Tyler Smith from Tulsa. We're going to slide him inside the guard.
All right, I'm not sure if that's 100% allowed, but you know what? Let's go with it. That's fine. McShay, you have waited all this time, and now you've got a defensive player on the board that you want?
George Karlaftis from Purdue. After knocking him earlier in the week in our podcast, I'm going to talk about all his positives. Now, he's a polarizing prospect. So, like I said on Monday, you look at him on tape, you love the first three steps, how he converts quickness to power, plays with great effort, chases down. The sack production was not there in terms of a 3-year starter. I think it was only 14.5 sacks there in his career, but ultimately he's constantly pressuring players. So I'll take Karlaftis with the last pick, in the last round of this draft. To get Karlaftis there is a real treat for Team McShay.
Todd's got a swagger about him. I'm just telling you right now, you can see it. And that brings us to the last pick in this draft exercise. The great Mel Kiper Jr. Mel, who's going to be the person that rounds out your perfect roster?
Yeah, I call McShay swagger overconfidence, but I'm going to go here with a guy who Todd said was maybe a little better than Nakobe Dean. Some people liked him better. I'm still a little hesitant to go super high, but at the last pick for me, I need a backer. You talk about Nakobe Dean and Devin Lloyd going. I'm going to go Quay Walker out of Georgia.
All right, so that gets us to everybody's pick. Everybody has put their complete roster together. And now we're going to go a little we'll pay tip of the cap to Riali and the Around the Horn people. We'll let you guys Around the Horn defend your roster. So let's give you 30 seconds or so to tell us. And we'll go from least experienced to most experienced. That's the way we'll put this. So that means, Matt Miller, you are first up, my friend. Matt, defend your roster and why it is the best.
The defense, quite simply. And these are not good quarterbacks in this draft class. So this is what we've been talking about for a year. None of these quarterbacks are winning you games. My defense will. Of course, the speed of Jameson Williams is definitely going to open things up on offense, too.
All right, that's concise. Jordan, what do you got? Defend your roster for us.
Well, we're explosive. We're explosive at the quarterback position with Malik Willis. We also have Chris Olave. We're just throwing bombs all down the field. We have Charles Cross protecting them. But once again, the strength in this team is on the defense. And we have a team that's going to strike you. Trent McDuffie is very physical. Devin Lloyd is as well. But we also have Lewis Seen as the heat-seeking missile on the back end, too.
All right. Again, a stress to the defense. Todd McShay, we've been hearing your defense of your roster the entire show, but we'll let you do it again. What you got?
Yeah, it was brilliant strategy from the start. Wait till the first running back comes off the board and then take the guy who I think is the best running back anyway. And really what happened here, let's just lay it out clearly, okay? If you look up and down this roster, there isn't a running back in the class that's going to go in the first round, but every other position is a first rounder. You can't say that for any of the other three teams. Plus, the best. That's the theme. Let's start on the back end. Kyle Hamilton, the best safety in the class, top 10 prospect. Sauce Gardner, the best quarterback in the class. At the linebacker position, Nakobe Dean, in my opinion, best off-the-ball linebacker. Devontae Wyatt, best every-down defensive tackle. Got the top offensive tackle in Ike Ekwonu. Kenyon Green's the best guard prospect in this class. Top wide receiver, Garrett Wilson. I don't even know how you guys are going to sleep tonight, honestly. What happened? How did this happen? I can't believe this.
Look, if I had one of those little like reality dingers, I'd have been giving him points. It was a convincing sales pitch. All right, Mel, we've saved the best for last. Defend your roster, good sir.
Yeah, let me say about McShay, he fooled you all if he fooled you on that, Chase. Come on. He's got 6 guys that maybe are borderline. Some of them is guaranteed first-round picks. Give me a break on that one. And then you go to my guys. I got 8 number ones. He's talking about all his. I got 8 guys you could argue. Aiden Hutchinson, is he not the number one? Is Kenny Pickett not maybe number one quarterback? Derek Stingley Jr. maybe number one corner if he's healthy, which he will be coming up. Trevor Penning, I got a guy who could be better in 2-3 years, and the guys go ahead of him. I got Breece Hall, clearly the number one running back. Drake London, number one. Ajabo would have been number one, and he still will be great. Zion Johnson, number one interior lineman. And I got Quay Walker, who McShay already said some people thinks better than Nakobe Dean. Jaquan Brisker, nice safety. After Kyle Hamilton and after, obviously, Daxton Hill, Jaquan Brisker could fall in third. So I got 8 number ones. And maybe you could argue, certainly 9, and then I got Brisker. So I'm thrilled with my roster. I haven't been bragging about it. McShay's got a stiff arm or stiff arms. He's been patting himself on the back for 2 hours here, it seems like. But when everybody looks at my team and you really evaluate it, and you throw your laptops out the window and you just write these stuff down, I think you'll come to the conclusion that I had the best draft.
Well, the amazing people behind the scenes on the show are going to put together a graphic and give the world the opportunity to vote on these rosters as well. So we'll be sure to get that out on social media and see what you guys think. Grade the graders. It's an amazing idea and an amazing process. But to the point of when you go through this whole exercise, guys, there are certain positions of strength, and you can see it. And I'll go back to the wide receiver conversation we had early on in this, Matt. When you start talking about the number of wide receivers that didn't get drafted in this snake, it tells you that the 4th best wide receiver, the 5th best wide receiver, can still be a day one impact.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, you could say a couple of these guys that didn't get picked. Jahan Dotson from Penn State, Christian Watson from North Dakota State, George Pickens from Georgia. There are a lot of receivers that didn't get picked that could be late first-round picks, that early second-round picks that will absolutely be rookie impacts. So I think you can say that about the edge position as well. The tackle position is pretty deep this year, but it definitely stands out at receiver that these were the first 4 to go. Well,
and guys, let's hit on some of those edge and pass rushers. Are there any out there that surprised you guys that didn't get drafted in this process? I got to throw to somebody. It's my job. So I'll throw to McShay since he's been swaggy.
Look to me. I got one.
Mel's got one. I'm throwing to Mel. Mel, what you got?
Arnold Ebiketie from Penn State. I mean, this is a guy comes off the edge flying. He tested well. I was going to take him, but I couldn't take another edge guy, Hutchinson and Ojabo. Arnold Ebiketie will be a heck of a player, and he's going to go probably in the first round. If he goes in the second, he's a steal. He'll say, he doesn't play the run. He had a ton of tackles. He plays hard all the time. Production, he's a strip sack guy. Arnold Ebiketie is the best pass rusher not picked in this snake draft.
I don't think you can say that without Todd reacting, right? Todd, what you got? You got to say something to that.
Yeah. No, it's kind of the 33rd best player in the draft. We've been saying it for 2 months now, and Kiper's trying to push him in the first. That's fine. I like him a lot. I liked him more than Mel. Mel had to overcorrect. We've gone through this time and time again. Another edge, though, in all seriousness, Boye Mafe from Minnesota, I think is another edge who could wind up getting his name called on the first night of the draft.
Jordan, anybody that stands out to you that got left off?
Traylon Burks from Arkansas. I think he's one that definitely could end up being a first-round player. And even though the numbers were a little bit underwhelming as far as what happened at the Combine, some people were expecting some bigger numbers. They still were good overall, but he's one player that could go 25 to 32 pick range. I think a fair range of where he could end up going.
So before I tell America who I think won this whole process, Matt, you're going to be in Vegas, right?
Yeah.
Todd and Mel are going to be in Vegas. Jordan, you going to be in Vegas for the draft?
Day 2 and day 3, I will be. I'll be in New York in day 1.
Okay, well, I was hoping that some of you wouldn't be there so I could just eliminate you guys. I'm trying to get free drinks out of it. You know what? It pains me to say this, America, but I think Todd won. I'm just saying, I think Todd won. We'll let you guys decide again. We'll put it up. We'll let everybody else vote on it. I'm just, just sitting here looking pretty, trying to stir things up. In the meantime, if this is your first time hanging out with us, be sure to check out First Draft. Every Monday, it's available for you live on YouTube, Twitter, all across the ESPN app. You can watch it and you can listen to it on Mondays, wherever you get your podcast. And on Thursdays, typically, it's just the podcast. Again, you can get wherever you get your podcast. But if you are listening to this and you want to go back and see our delightful faces because of this special, we are also on YouTube, so be sure to check it out. For everybody behind the scenes, for Matt Miller, for Jordan Reid, for Todd McShay, for Mel Kiper Jr., I'm Jason Fitz. Thank you so much for watching First Draft. The draft is almost here. I can hardly wait. Good job, gentlemen.